Okay, so that was my joke. So my husband says, no man is a Staten Island. I'm like, oh, honey. He said, you didn't use mine. I said, no, mine was funnier. Okay, so why am I bringing up cholesterol? I just wanted to, oh, they unplugged it? I got it. Okay. This is going to be fast, furious. I put in your books some articles about this. You can go to the web. There's a lot on it. Okay. On the 21st chromosome is a nice little gene called APP, amyloid precursor protein. Okay, stay with me. If you could do Craig's lecture, you could do this. So we've got 3 APP genes. Now, what happens in Alzheimer's is a couple of things, but this is one of them. They're called amyloid plaques, and it's basically gunk in the brain, okay? So I found these pictures, and they're so fabulous. I'm probably in the way. Okay, so amyloid precursor protein is a protein, like you now know, we just make proteins and we're carbon, and it can be cut in 3 different places by 3 different enzymes. So depending on the enzyme, 2 of the cuts make an amyloid plaque that is not toxic. And 1 of the cuts makes a toxic plaque that gunks up. Okay, stay with me, it's good. That's what it looks like in the brain. The one on the right has amyloid plaques. The one on the left does not. That's what it looks like stained with brown stain. So, why do I bring up cholesterol and cognition? Because I found studies that show that with your total cholesterol really high, you cut that amyloid plaque in the wrong place, and you make, the amyloid protein, and you make amyloid plaques. So I found a study. They had followed adults, 123 adults with Down syndrome for 5.5 years. And those who had higher cholesterol got dementia. That's their criteria. Got Alzheimer's. And those with lower did not in that 5.5 year period. Now, some of the adults were on statins, and you'll have to read the study, but they got it at a lesser rate too. I have problems with statins. They do other things. See, it's another drug. But if you take the Body Bio oil, you'll lower your cholesterol. Tina's daughter's cholesterol didn't come down, didn't come down, didn't come down. And then she started on Body Bio, and it almost like came through the floor. But its total cholesterol is what they looked at. And if that was over 200, man, their chances were very high of losing function earlier. So that's why I brought up cholesterol. Then curcumin. Curcumin is in curry. It's in turmeric. Is that how you say it? Anyway, so curcumin, there's a brand that people are using now called Longvita curcumin. And actually, I gave it to Neil, and then I kind of forgot what it did, I think. I lost, he takes a lot of stuff. I was thinking, it's kind of doing the same thing. Because some of the research shows that it kind of does what Prozac does. So for you guys, I went back and looked at it again. Whoops. See, I don't remember everything I read. It enhances the clearance of amyloid plaques. That might be good for us. Now, I think the Longvita curcumin, they have a proprietary formula because it's always difficult to get, well, not always. Sometimes it's hard to get things into the brain at sufficient dose because you have a nice blood-brain barrier. It's a good thing. We don't want everything going in, except the alcohol. And I thought that I had read, but see, I didn't remember everything about this. I've not been a good researching time. that they put the curcumin in phosphatidylcholine. Is that what they did? Ah, that's it, because they took it off their website. It's no, they just say a proprietary formula. And they put it in fat because that's how you get it through the blood-brain barrier. Yes, I think that's what they did. So, because fats go in. That's why you're taking the PC, because you want to go into your brain. So I do think that might be a really good product, at least for the older adults with Down syndrome. I mean, no, I wouldn't do it instead. I think it has some of the same actions, but the clearance of amyloid plaques would be really good. They look at Indians, who eat a lot of curry in India, and they really do have a lower incidence of Alzheimer's. Oh, yeah, lots of people. It was just me that dropped it. Plus curcumin. I mean, I probably wouldn't. You're doing it, right, Brenda? Yeah. Yep.
Is any attributes like Prozac where it regenerates neurons?
Yeah, that's what I thought it did. It does a little bit of that, I think.
I read it on Teresa's blog.
I know, and then I forgot it.
Dana, Avery's mom, who said that she felt that it had an effect with Prozac and the ginkgo. And I started using it.
And there's a lot of people online that report it.
I started using it. It's pretty inexpensive. It's by Nutravine.
Yeah, Nutravine, the vitamins, the ones who make it for Down syndrome, they just started carrying this product. With Longvita. Right. Okay. Oh, no, I wouldn't. Right. I mean, the Lipitor, I don't know. It has a lot of side effects.
Martha's was 210, 220, and after being on a year on the PC and the oil, it dropped to 152. So anybody, even without Down syndrome, you've got issues with cholesterol, it's like, hello, get on the stuff so you can clear out the brain. But it dropped that far. She just had testing Friday.
Oh, she did?
Yeah, I'll let you know where it was. Where did you get it? How much?
I don't know. So, the PC or the curcumin? How much do you take, Tina? I want it on the video.
All right. On the Longvita, you can go to, there's a website. I mean, we can get this after Teresa talks. Or you can go to Nutravine.com. They're now carrying Longvita curcumin. Yes, it is a little bit more expensive because it's bound with the PC. Some of us are using curcumin, but we've been giving the phosphatidylcholine all along, so we just give it at the same time. For us, Martha's like on 4,000, 2 in the morning and 2 at night. And so we've been doing that in addition to the protocol. She does a lot of stuff in addition to the protocol.
Right, right. You got to do a lot of stuff.
I just wanted to share this real quick because I think this is so critical. And I'll share what happened with me personally, but it's totally how it relates to kids with Down syndrome. But in the last 45 days, I don't know if I shared this with you, but I stopped all sugar because I had a physical done. My triglycerides were through the ceiling, but I don't eat candy or soda or anything, but it was still through the ceiling, overdoing fruits big time, and processed foods, but stopped my no saturated fats and no sugar for 30 days. I couldn't lose a pound in 6 months. So I lost 12 pounds in a month, and redid my physical 30 days later. My triglycerides went from, and if you're familiar with these, it went from 809, which is dangerous, to 125. Cholesterol dropped 40 points, went down to 126. High blood pressure, and I'm a pretty relaxed guy, but my blood pressure was high and I couldn't figure out it was the sugar. 147 over 97 to 120 over 82. That's 30 days. So, and also studying a lot of things on wheat and gluten. I would recommend you guys do serious studies on that, because especially with kids with Down syndrome, because the gut and the lining is so vulnerable, and wheat and gluten break down your colon, break down the walls of your stomach even more, and they already have a vulnerable stomach lining, which is not as strong as typical kids. So wheat and gluten is not good for us anyway, but even more so with kids with Down syndrome. So the sugar, the trans fat, it's kind of, here's this protocol, but if nutritionally, health-wise, it's out of whack, and there's all this sugar, and there's these trans fats, and there's wheat, and there's gluten, you're minimizing the effect that the protocol can have on the child because it's working against itself. And just have good nutrition. I mean, that's an incredible, in 30 days. The doctor just, they couldn't understand. They said, they were going to want to put me on 3 medications. Of course, that's typical doctors, want to, I mean, I'm sorry, but most of the time, that is typical, take this drug, take this drug, take this drug. And they said about a year to get all of these levels down, and in 30 days, those things became...
In defense of doctors, patients don't want to stop eating sugar.
No, but you know what?
So you recommend it, and they die.
Well, and that's true. Unfortunately, out of all the times I've been to see not all doctors, I don't mean all physicians, but unfortunately, all the times I've ever seen a physician, they never said, here's the real detriments of sugar. Did you understand that just sugar alone is causing all of these effects? And if they would have said that, and I would have understood that was the... So when I came back 30 days later, the doctor said, what did you do? I said, I just stopped sugar for 30 days, dropped 12 pounds, and all my liver enzymes were through the roof. They were normalized. 30 days. So if that's for a typical, person, imagine how much more the negative effect is going to have on a child with Down syndrome.
Right.
And so that's so important to... there was one other thing, I'm trying to remember... But just encourage you tremendously, look at that health, research.
Become an Iron Man.
Health, very important.
We said you're becoming an Iron Man with your thumb. You're becoming an Iron Man, see? Look at that nutrition, it's taking over. Okay, one more question, and then I think we gotta go to lunch. Okay, add to it.
These are just some sugar substitutes that are good for you: xylitol, stevia, and erythritol. Okay, 3 of those.
And you know what? We eat agave.
And agave, yeah.
Agave is lower glycemic. What? Why? You forgot?
Well,
Well, we don't eat that much.
I put a tremendous amount of hours in study on sugar. Agave in itself isn't bad. Like honey's not bad. Fruit's not bad.
Yeah.
But if your vegetable to fruit ratio needs to be 85% vegetables, 50% fruit. You overdo fruit, you overdo agave, you overdo honey. I did not know that sugar in fruit, just the sugar, is just as bad as sugar in a Snicker bar. I mean, you research, it's just kind of unbelievable. Also, this is just so important, I'll try to really quick,
Go.
is processed, most all processed foods have sugar in them. Now again, most people in this room might know this was new to me. White bread, white rice, white potato, they all turn to sugar. Well, white bread has sugar in it, but white rice and white potato turn to sugar in your bloodstream. It turns to sugar. So eliminating sugar. Now, I stopped fruit even for 30 days. Fruit's great for you. You need to have fruit. But my triglycerides were 809. I need to stop anything with sugar. So now that I'm kind of close to my desired weight, I'll put fruit back in my diet because you need the fiber and all the good things that come along with the nutrients in fruit, but just a small amount. And vegetable juicing, it really helps to put those real good vegetables in you. But it's the processed food. Huh?
Everybody's hungry.
All right, so let's eat.
So let's go eat some processed food. No, we don't need any processed food. What am I saying?